Hello, my name is Megan Kaun. I'm a Zhineng Qigong teacher and healer. And today I wanted to talk to you about a practice we do in Zhineng Qigong called good information. Briefly, if you want more information on me and the classes I teach, you can visit my website, intothehum.com, and of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want more videos like these. Okay, good information. So, the practice of good information is really training ourselves to focus on the good things in our life. And no matter what is going on, no matter what, there is always something positive that one can focus on. And this practice might seem simple, but it is actually really difficult because most of us are conditioned, have developed habits to not focus on the good information. And this really makes sense, actually. And it all comes from patterns of fear. So, most of us in our modern society have developed patterns of fear. And when one is in a fear-based state, it is an emergency. Even if in reality, in logical reality, there's no emergency going on, we start getting into patterns that mimic how we would act if we were in an actual emergency, if we were actually in a life or death situation, in a situation where we were being chased by something, a situation where we didn't have enough food, where someone had an immediate medical concern. Those are real emergencies, right? But most of life is we're not in an emergency, but we get caught up and start acting like we are constantly in an emergency. And when one is in an emergency, you have to pay attention to everything that's bad going on. You have to make sure that you know if something dangerous or threatening to your life is happening. And that's very, very important. So when we are caught up in this fear-based structure in our life, what ends up happening? And just think about your own life and see if this applies. It definitely applies to me, often. Um, that the good things in your life, those are good. They're fine. You don't need to worry about those. And so you don't pay attention to anything good that's happening in your life because that's the stable thing. That's not the thing that you need to pay attention to because your life is in danger. When you're in a fear situation, you need to pay attention to the things that could harm you. So you get in a pattern of paying attention to the bad information, to the things you're worried about, to the things that you're afraid of not knowing how to handle, to the things in the past that were concerning and that you don't want to happen in the future. So you're trying to figure out how to make sure it doesn't happen again, et cetera, et cetera. And the problem is that when we get stuck in this pattern, in this fear-based pattern, then we start living our life only paying attention to the bad things. And what happens when all we see is bad, all we see is scary, is that that becomes our reality. And that becomes our internal reality. So when we're always looking at the things that are ugly, wrong, concerning, then within us, we end up creating things that are wrong and concerning. But we can change this. All we need to do is change our patterning. And it's something that we can do slowly, moment by moment, action by action. And this is, again, the practice of good information. So, play with it. In fact, right now, let's play with it. So I'm feeling my feet on the ground, feeling my head pointing up to the earth. We're just connecting back in with the energy of the earth, with the energy of the universe. And straighten your spine, tuck your chin. And just notice one thing that feels good in your body. Forget about the things that don't feel good. It might be something really simple. It might be something like your breath. Today, my breath feels good. Right now, in this moment, my breath feels good. My heart feels open. And that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to close my eyes and you can join me. And I'm just going to focus on, wow, my breath feels really good. My heart feels really open. Or whatever it is. It could be my right hand, that feels pretty good today. Forget about the rest of your body if that's not feeling so good. My right hand, it's feeling great. I can move all my fingers. I can make a fist and I can move my hand. Wow, having that full range of motion of my hand, that feels really good. And you can go in deep with this, just focusing on the one thing. There's only one thing. It's good information. That's what you focus on. And just notice how you feel now. Notice how you feel really, really paying attention to the one thing that feels good. You can open your eyes. So in Qigong, we say where the mind goes, the qi flows. And where our consciousness pays attention, that is what we foster, that's what we grow. And we can do this good information practice internally in our bodies. We can also do it externally too. So you can, be in a room and say, what's one thing I can focus on that is beautiful? Or you can be outside in nature or even in a city. You could be in the most ugly location, ugly and depressing location ever, and you could find one thing that's beautiful, that's good, that is inspiring, that reminds you of something that brings you joy, and you can focus on that one thing. And in this way, we start building a new pattern that really is much more logical, right? A new pattern that we can live in the 99.9% of all of our moments of our days where we are not in an emergency, where we are perfectly safe, and where we can focus our attention and our energy. We can focus the energy that we use to build our entire lives on something that brings good. And a higher level practice of this is the ability that we have to then start. So, say you're having a tough time finding some, or you're really fixated on something that's really upsetting, right? And that happens to all of us. There's certain things that happen in our lives that it's just we're just really upset about the one thing. So then we can take this practice to those places too. Because in Zhineng Qigong, we're not doing a spiritual bypass. We are not ignoring the things we don't like, the bad things, right? We are growing the capacity to be able to witness them and handle them while we're also changing our habits so that we can really see and enjoy all the amazing things in our lives, right? So the capacity to flow and to witness something difficult, it's going to also give us the capacity to receive all of the wonderful things in our lives. And so these are two things we practice together. So back to the difficult situation that we're in. Say we've received a difficult medical diagnosis, and that's really, we're worrying about that. We're concerned. So we can take that practice there also. We can take our practice to witness that worry, right? The worry, because that's the feeling that, the actual event, that's not really of consequence. It's the feeling we have in our body, that contraction, that worry, that not great feeling that we have in our body. And we can use our techniques of Qigong to not bypass it, not get rid of it, not destroy it. We can use Qigong to transform it. And it is a fact in energy work that any difficult emotion, negative emotion, limiting emotion, emotion that's showing us we have a blocked energy flow. So worry, hate, fear, depression, anxiety, all these things, that we can transform that energy. We can transform the energy of worry or hate into something that's like bliss or joy with love. And when I talk about this type of love, it's an unconditional love. It's the type of love that we are able to access when we practice the consciousness practices in Zhineng Qigong. And I have a 12-week free intro to consciousness series that you can get on my YouTube channel too, if you want to learn more about this. But in general, when we practice these consciousness practices of coming back to our observer, we enter a place of unconditional love where we can merge that love with these difficult patterns and transform them into joy, gratitude, love, or peace and grace. And we can practice that really, really simply in the moment, and let's do it right now, actually. So I'll now invite you, feet on the ground, connecting with the earth, spine straight, head pointed up, chin tucked, eyes closed. And now I'll invite you to bring something difficult. So it can be an emotion, it can be a story that you have, something that's bothering you, reaction that you've had to something difficult in your life. And bring it to your consciousness. Just breathing, coming back to your body. And now we're going to do a simple practice called La Chi. And this is an activation practice. So we've brought this difficult thing in. And we are going to witness it. We are going to accept it. I accept the worry that I have over a medical diagnosis, for example. I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow the worry that I have over this difficult situation. Unconditionally accept it and allow it. And now you can open your eyes if you want to see what I'm doing, and then close them when you're ready. I'm going to bring my hands facing each other, and I'm going to imagine an energy ball in the center of my hands. And I'm going to imagine this worry that I have, or whatever it is, this anger, this story, this situation that I'm in, whatever it is. I'm going to place that in the center of my hands. And now, because everything is chi, everything is energy, including emotions and stories, information, I'm going to merge that information with this healing chi ball, healing energy ball that I'm holding between my hands. And now together, we are going to open, moving from the elbows, opening the energy ball, and close. Open. Close. And we're doing a little healing here. Continue opening and closing in your own time. We're doing a healing together in the consciousness realm on the energy of this difficult situation, this thing you've labeled maybe as bad. And so together we're opening the energy of that up into the energy of the universe. And then we're closing, gathering in the healing energy and the harmony of the harmonious energy field of the universe, the collective consciousness field of all the great sages and teachers and practitioners of all consciousness healing. And we're just opening our problem up to that and allowing the problem to be infused with the cohesion of a healing energy field. And every time we open and close, we're bringing in new energy, new life, new healing to this situation. We're opening up blockages. We're reconfiguring the energy. Because if everything is chi, everything is energy, well, energy is just a basic building block. Energy is not good or bad. No such thing as good or bad energy. Not where we are. So we're just opening up the building blocks, the basic building blocks of that worrisome story or difficult situation. And we're allowing that to reconfigure. We're allowing the healing, harmonious, unconditional love that we are and that is the universe to come in and harmonize that hate into love, harmonize that worry into peace, harmonize the anxiety into confidence, harmonize that fear into trust. And this is something you can practice anytime. You can come back to this. You have the power to place anything in this healing ball of chi between your hands and work with it. Come to a stop when you're ready. And I'll invite you to now place this healing, cohesive energy ball into your navel, stacking hands over your navel, breathing for a few minutes, and just notice how you feel now. Notice any shifts or realizations or just changes in the way that you're interacting with this difficult whatever that you put in. Opening your eyes. So thank you. Thank you for practicing and learning with me today, and I'll see you next time.